Well, hello guys, how y'all doing? Glad to have you back with us. Well, today we're out, as you can see behind me, in one of the corn patches, and we were out here harvesting a little bit of sweet corn, and I want to bring y'all along with us and show you what I look for when I'm harvesting my corn. This particular patch right here is Stowell's Evergreen, and it's an heirloom variety. The first year that I've tried it, and so far from what I've seen, it is an excellent sweet corn. We picked a few ears, and we've roasted some, we boiled some, and excellent corn. If you have the opportunity to grow Stowell's Evergreen, get you some seed. And as we're going through the patch, I'm going to show you a little something that I did. Like I said, it's an heirloom variety, so you can save the seed from this corn. So it's hot today. It's middle to late July, so let's get on out in the patch and see if we can find a good ear corn. Now, like I told you before, I've already picked quite a bit of this corn, but it just keeps putting on. And like I said, it's a good variety of corn. I'm going to show you right here. If you'll see, I've flagged a few ears in this patch, and what that's for is when I come out in here and harvest corn, I've selected about 10 of the prettiest ears that I've seen in the whole patch, and I put those flags on there. And what that's going to let me do, I'm going to avoid picking those. I'm going to let that cure out and dry completely on the plant, and that'll be our seed for next year. So let's go on down through the patch. Let's see here. So as you can see, and this corn's in a lot of different stages, so this is a good opportunity to see where we're at. I see this one down here that I've flagged. If you'll look, the husk on the corn, the leaves that cover the corn, are starting to turn yellow. Now that means that this corn is mature, but it's past the prime of eating. It's started to get starchy, and you can see this one right here. It's started to get starchy. See how the outside husk is drying up. But now if we look over here, you can see that the silk, this part up here at the top, is called the silk. The silk on this is purple, but I'm going to use the word green to describe it. It's fresh, and it's just beginning to pollinate. What happens is this corn will send up these silks, and then up from the tassel, which is that part up there on the top, pollen will fall and get on the silk, and once it hits the silk, it will migrate and fertilize each kernel. So there is a little old silk-like hair that comes out of that corn plant for every kernel of corn that's down in here on the ear. There again, here's another ear of corn, and that's going to be hard to see because of a red tag here. But this corn, see how long and slender it is? And the silk is fresh. It's real soft and delicate and moist. It's not far enough along to pick yet. And the husk down here, it's real skinny in there. It's not started to fill out. Now we're getting down here to some corn that's ready to pick. If you'll see, the silk is almost completely dry. It's not dry right here at the very tip. This one's the same way. It's dry. I mean, it's just bone dry out here. But inside, you can see that it's still soft and pliable. This one down here is dry. This one's dry. This little corn here, it's dry. That one's dry. So those are the ones that we'll be picking today. And I'm going to show you how to pull it from the stalk. And then we'll open some up and I'll show you the different stages and why we want to pick it at a particular stage. So we've determined that these ears of corn right here are ready to pick. So all I'm going to do, sometimes corn will have 2 ears per stalk. And usually this little bottom ear here, let's just pull it off, take a look at it. It's not going to do anything. You can see that it's dried out, but the corn just don't mature. And that's just the way it is. You're usually going to have at least one good stalk, or one good ear of corn per stalk, and sometimes you'll get 2 full ears of corn per stalk. But if you have 2 ears on the plant, one of them's ready, one of them's not, what I recommend is you're going to support the plant. You're going to grab hold of it up here and just grab that and push down. And when you push down, just twist, and your ear of corn will come off. And you just go down through here, a little twist. This one here, a little twist. If they're real hard to get off, they're probably not ready to go. A little twist. We're picking some corn. Let me get the rest of this picked and we'll get in the shade and take a look at what we've got. So there's our corn harvest. And you can see we've picked quite a few. But now me particularly, I don't like to pick a whole lot at a time, because what happens, whatever I pick, if you leave it in this trailer anytime at all, it's going to sour on you. And it ain't going to be no good. So what's got to happen now, I've got to get this corn, I've got to get it shucked, and basically either get it refrigerated to where it cool down, or I've got to go ahead and blanch it and get it freezer bagged or process it. However I'm going to process this particular corn, I've got to get it either cooled down or processed, and I'd say you probably got an hour or an hour and a half to do that. So we've got enough that we can take care of in just a short time, and then we'll come back and pick some more later. So, but I'm gonna grab a ear or two, and we'll look and see the difference in the stages. This corn here, if you'll take a look at it, and if you've ever grown corn before, you know that them worms are gonna get in here and eat. And they don't get them all, but they're gonna get some of them. So, but other than that, this is a pretty good looking ear of corn. But if you'll look real close, and I'm gonna try to get it up here close where you can see how packed together those kernels are. That's pretty much full maturity, and that's the size seed you would get. But if you take the corn and you mash this kernel, you see that milk that come out of that. There's a little milk coming out of it. That corn, that's the latest you'd want to pick it. And it's going to be a little tougher than some I'm going to show you here in just a minute. But, you know, it's good that we have this milk. You see that milk that shot out there on my finger? That's the sugars in the corn. If I waited any longer on this here right here, and I'm talking about days, if I waited till tomorrow, this here corn right here, that would become starch, and it's going to set up to make a seed, and when that happens, it's going to get doughy and it's going to get doughy, and it's going to get tough. If you've ever had old doughy tough ear of corn, a lot like what you get in the grocery store, if you'll pick it at this stage right here, this is, like I said, this is the latest that I would want to pick it, because it is absolutely fully mature. Luckily for me, I've still got some sugars in this one, indicated by the milk, and so that'll still be some good eating. Now let's take a look at this here corn. That's just right there. You see that the kernels are filled out. But it's not, they're not packed real tight together. This is probably the optimum stage for picking sweet corn. It's mature enough, but if you'll look, let's go right here. Man, you talking about the juice. It's just juicy. And you see that? That's going to be tender. It's going to be sweet. This is your optimum time to pick it. And you'll learn as you go through. Stowell Evergreen, I've noticed the silks have to be a little bit darker than what I normally see for the hybrid sweet corns for it to be at this stage. But this is the stage that you want to pick it. Now, here's another ear of sweet corn. As you can see on this one, there's gaps in between the rows. That's fine to eat. But if I'd let it go another day, it would have been optimum. I'd have got the most corn from the ear of corn without letting it get doughy. So when you got those gaps in there, it's going to eat just fine. We could have got a little more corn off of it if we'd waited a day. So that's the different stages. You want to hit somewhere between this and then that first ear that I picked, which is another day or two. That'd be doughy, and it wouldn't be, well, you could eat it, but it wouldn't be prime. But somewhere between this and that first one that I showed you is when you want to pick your sweet corn. Now, if you'll look up here on top, there ain't no corn up there. And what happened there is all them little hairs that's up on top didn't get pollinated. And they might have started getting pollinated, and when a June bug or a Japanese beetle come by and eat the top off of it, and it didn't get pollinated, and it didn't fill out all the way to the top. So that's all that is. And we pop that off and throw that in the pot. We'll be ready to go. Another ear of corn here that we just picked too early. You can see that it started to dry, but not completely, and it's not dry. It's not dried down into the top of the corn. And I'm gonna shuck this back. Here we go again. Limited pollination on the top. And here we go again. Got the large gaps in between. Kernels starting to fluff up. Another couple of days, that'd be just where it needed to be. And I grow enough corn to where from time to time I'll come out here when I feel like that it's getting ready to set and it's time to get it in the freezer, and I'll get me, I'll pull me an ear and see how it's doing. You can feel of it and sort of tell if it's filled out, but you can always pull you one and see where you're at till you learn the particular variety that you're growing. And when you pull one like this, it's just full of sugar. Like I said, you're not going to get a whole lot of corn off of it, but it's a good opportunity to try your product. Man, excuse me for eating in front of you, but that's sweet. So until next time, this is Brian, the Piedmont Gardener, and get out there and grow you some sweet corn, and when it gets ready, get out there and pick it. Get it in the freezer. You can enjoy it all winter. I've got a whole lot of work to do right here, and it's hot, so I'm gonna cut it short. Like I said, thank you for watching the videos, and we'll see you next time. Y'all have a good day.